Hello and welcome to this channel. For those who have never been here before, we welcome you with open arms, and those who have returned, thank you for stopping back by. I decided that I wanted to do something different. September has arrived, and when I go to the mountains, and not even going to the mountains, but here in my local city, seeing the trees turn colors, you have the oranges and the yellows, and my favorite are the reds, to see red leaves. And so I wanted to kind of mimic the colors that really intrigued me the most. So here's what I did. Let's go ahead and get started with this video. Don't forget to give me a like if you like this content. So getting started, I wanted to go ahead and go with the 30 volume developer. Because my hair is so dark, I do have 4C hair. So I decided to go with volume 30. Also, L'Oreal permanent hair dye, excuse me, I wanted to go with, and I decided to do two different colors because I didn't want it to be too bright and I didn't want it to be too red. I didn't want a burgundy color. I wanted that red to really pop without being too bright. So I decided to get the magenta and the red, and we'll be mixing those two colors together. Just showing you some of the things that I needed in order to get this accomplished. And so here it is. I didn't get a mixing bowl from the beauty store. I just used a regular bowl that I had in the cabinets that I wasn't using. And so now I'm mixing up my colors. L'Oreal is really a good product because it's not as harsh as some of the other hair dyes that are out there. Trust me, my mom back in the day, straight honey blonde, and it damaged her hair a lot. This was probably back in the 80s, early 90s. And so she had switched over to L'Oreal, which is a much nourishing hair dye. And you know, with the box dyes, it already comes with the developer. But by my hair being so dark, if I was just to get a box dye kit, it wouldn't have lifted it the color like I wanted to. So right now I'm just putting in my first dye, which is the red. I'm using pretty much all of the red. I left maybe about a fourth of it just for my touch-ups, but I used pretty much all of the red dye. And like I said, I did leave a little bit. My hair is also very thick. I look a hot mess, but when I blow it out, it's really big, but I have a lot of shrinkage problems. So if you know of any products that I can use to help with my shrinkage, I do want to start wearing my natural hair more. So please leave that in the comment section and let me know what products are good for that. So I'm showing you how much I had left of it, and now I'm going in with the magenta, just a little bit, not that much, not as much as I used of the red, because like I said, the red, I was kind of scared to just do red by itself, and I wanted more of that deep wine color, but I wanted it to pop as well. It's really hard to explain. So I'm just putting that on top of the red. And like I said, I am not using that much of red or magenta. So I had a lot of that left over that I will use at a later date. Just make sure that if you are saving it, you may want to just keep it in a dark, cool place. And that's how much for both of the tubes that I use. That's how much I had in the bowl. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my developer. You can always, if I wanted it to pop even more, I could have gotten the 40, but I was just a little timid. Didn't want it to be too extreme. So I don't use measuring cups. Like I said, I've been in the world of dye just about all my life because my mother, my grandmothers, and aunties, they always use the dye. So I kind of know how to eyeball it. And I know how much to add. I always start off like really, really small in the amount that you put in of the developer. You can always add more. You don't want a runny consistency. You do want not a thick consistency. You want it just right. So here I am just stirring up the solution and making sure that it's very well stirred in. So really almost like I was whisking it. See, that is too thick. So I knew that I needed a little bit more developer. I tell you, if you want something done, you have to do it yourself. And I am the type of person where I really don't have time to do my hair and things of that nature. So I do what I can. Now, if you're just starting out, you can do a strand test. You could take out just a small section of your hair if you've never colored your hair before, or if you're not sure of how the color will turn out. You can take just a small section. I would probably say in the middle, your frontal middle section, just take a little piece out. That way you can have just like one streak if necessary. But if you're kind of intimidated, or if you're questioning how it will look, you can always do a strand test and see if that's the color that you want. But I was willing just to experiment on myself, and I had faith that everything was going to turn out one way or the other. So as I'm still mixing everything together, it still was at a thick consistency. So I added a little bit more developer to the mixture. And like I said, just make sure that you're really, really, really stirring it in, almost like a whisk. Just whisking it in. And you want it to kind of look like that. And just keep stirring. You can never go wrong with stirring it. If you can look closely and see that consistency, I got a little nervous at that part. So I decided to put in a semi-permanent, just in case. Just to kind of tone down that red, because it was really, really bright. And so that's the color that I got, the Intense Red by Kiss. And as you can see, that is a little bit darker. Yeah, you can definitely see how dark that is. So yeah, just wanted to tone it down a little bit. I didn't want to look like the Kool-Aid man. Even though I have seen a lot of ladies with that bright red, and it is gorgeous. I just wanted to consider my skin tone. I also wanted to consider that we are going into a different season, so I wanted to give a more darker look for the fall and winter months. So that definitely did tone down that red a little. I was more obliged to put that into my head at that moment. So just make sure you are really mixing that in really, really good. I decided that I wanted a little bit more. So that's what I'm doing, and I decided to measure it with the spoon that I was stirring with, just to make sure that I'm reaching my color goal. Now that's a winner right there. That's the color that I wanted to go with. I wanted to experiment with. I felt very confident in mixing those colors together. Now I have nails. They are my nails. And so when putting on these gloves, they protected my hands a little bit, but hey, some still got on my hands and my nails, but no worries. That's what Clorox is for. So I really wasn't too concerned with that, but you do want to protect your hands at all times. Make sure that you put on something that you do not mind dyeing or getting, like a t-shirt or something that you don't mind getting messed up. I don't even like to use towels because all of my towels are pretty much good. And once you dye it, it's a done deal. Now, I just dyed the front part of my hair. I wanted the back to remain black. But you do want to make sure that you protect your face, your forehead, your ears. You don't want to walk around with red stains on your face and on your ears. So really make sure that you pile on that Vaseline or some type of skin protectant that's thick, and make sure that you cover all of those areas, even behind your ears, because sometimes it can drip. So keep in mind you can do that. Now earlier this year I did perm my perimeter, just the edges of my perimeter, because I had a sew in and I had some leave out, and I have been totally natural for over 14 years. Haven't had a relaxer, but every now and again when I have those styles that I want to wear that involves straightness and blending it, you know, you have to leave some hair out generally, so that means you have to straighten it. And instead of me putting a flat iron to my hair every day to straighten it, or pressing comb to straighten it, I just went ahead and I permed my perimeter earlier this year. But that pretty much has come out at the roots. It's still straight at the ends of my hair, so that's why you may see that it looks like two different textures. That's the reason why. Now, when applying the dye, some people use a brush, but I am a hands-on girl. I wanted to go ahead and do the perimeter of each section. I had the back of my hair in one ponytail because I wasn't going to touch that part, but in the front I definitely started at the edges of each section. So I want to make sure that that's heavily saturated with the product. And as I am doing those edges, I'm also applying product to the rest of that section as I am basically finger combing it. And please make sure you've already put, a skin protectant on. Make sure that you are getting all of those edges, because sometimes you can leave out a spot and you may have, your original color may show. So make sure that you're taking your time when you get to the front of your perimeter, that you're really getting each possible hair. So after you have done the perimeter real good of that section, you want to go ahead and start sectioning, parting it, and applying the hair color to both ends. So you want to do one end and then the other end, and you're still finger combing it throughout the whole process. Get each side. Just cake it on there. You want it to be highly saturated. Another thing I do know, for textures of 4C, or I'm pretty sure probably any texture of hair, when you are using a high cream developer, you kind of want to get it right the first time, because if you reapply the product too soon, you can experience a lot of breakage. So just keep that in mind when coloring your hair. You want to keep your hair as healthy as possible, so making sure that you have the products available, those leave-in conditioners. Your hair tends to dry out a lot faster, especially with 4C hair, so you just want to make sure that as often as possible that you're keeping your hair hydrated and as healthy as possible. So again, I'm just going through each section and I'm caking it on and working it through. I still see some black marks going in. It's something that when you have like a beautiful hair color, when the sun hits it, and even at night, depending on what color you have, you know, under certain lighting, under certain moonlights, you know, that color just still pops. So you want to make sure that you have it covered if that is your goal to, you know, color your hair. And so I had finished that side, and we're gonna let that marinate, and just decided to roll it up. Again, going back in on the edges, places that I saw that I still had some black showing. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. Slap that stuff on. I had even thought about doing my eyebrows, like coloring my eyebrows, but I decided against that because that would have been some more coating that I would have had to do on my face. But that is a good idea if you have some left over. If you want to, you know, give that a try, you could definitely do that. Put the color on your eyebrows just to kind of lighten it up a little bit. I have naturally short eyebrows, but we worked it out. You see the little long piece that That's from the perm from earlier this year. Now the roots looks like the rest of my hair, but it's still just the ends that are straight. So just double checking, making sure that I get those areas. I haven't missed a spot. And now we're going to go to the other side. You got to work it. You got to work it. Work it on in. If you have any skin problems or very sensitive skin, especially in your scalp, I would strongly advise you do a strand test if you're going to do it yourself. It saves a lot of money, but you do not want to irritate your scalp. So you may even want to consider consulting a professional. But if you don't, just really, if you have those type of skin issues, I would strongly suggest you do a strand test to make sure that it will not irritate your skin, or with very minimal irritation. Work it through. You got to work it through. Again, on that side, going through the perimeter of that section, getting the back of it, making sure that we have full coverage. Oh, we're just working it out. Mary J. Blige has that type of complexion as well, where she can get away with many colors. I will experiment with colors. I have experimented with colors, and I can honestly say I've never been disappointed. But it's been a while since I've colored my hair, because I typically do braids or sew-ins. Every now and again I do wigs. I haven't really gotten into the lace front wigs. But when you are a female in high demand and you have a lot to do, you want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward, but you just don't have time to really do your hair like that. So I try to search for options that will be considerate of my time. But like I said, I do want to start wearing my natural hair more. I love my natural hair, but if it's humid outside, I step outside, it's a wrap. My hair starts to shrink, and I just do not like that. So please, again, if you have any suggestions on how I can, or what products would be good for my type of hair, I would greatly appreciate it. Because there are so many options at the beauty stores, and that's just like edge control. I think I've tried every edge control almost that's available in stores, and nothing seems to hold down my edges. And if something does hold down my edges, it flakes. So if you have a suggestion for 4C hair, a good edge control for 4C hair, I would greatly appreciate that as well. I need help. Let's help each other. That's what this channel is for. Each one teach one. So again, taking my time, making sure that each part is saturated with color. It was actually fun messing, I guess. What I would have told my daughter a long time ago, like, you messing. But it was actually quite enjoyable, just messing in something. And I mean, I caked it on too. But it's necessary, and hopefully I won't have to do any touch-ups for at least like 6 weeks or so with my roots. But even when it grows out just a little bit, when you have like that two-tone color, that's really pretty as well when it starts to grow out, just depending on your preference, and who knows how I'll feel at that point in time. So time will tell. And we're going to use up everything in that container. Yes, we are. It was just so satisfying. I don't know why, but it was really, really satisfying. And as you can see, it already was turning on the first side that I did. And when I say I'm getting everything, we're leaving nothing to waste. You never can tell in the beginning, you know, what color, but I was loving what I was seeing thus far. If you're thinking about coloring your hair for the fall, what colors are you considering? Please leave that in the comments section, because that might be something I want to try. Or if you have any color combinations like I did with the red and the magenta, and also the other color I got from Kiss, the semi-permanent, just please leave that in the comments section. So once you've gotten all the color in, you can just kind of like put it up in the bowl, and you do want it to marinate for a while. Now, to be honest, something came up in the process. Typically, I like to keep it on for about 30 minutes, but I was not able to do that. I did keep it in for 20 minutes exactly, because I needed to run out as soon as I possibly could, so I couldn't do the full 30 minutes. Here is my end result. It did color, well, because I have two different textures of hair, you really can't tell. It looks like it's black, but it's not. I love the color that it turned out. It put me in mind of a fall color. I will be using the black castor oil every day to keep my hair moisturized. And also, before I put the oil on, I definitely will hydrate my hair with some water before I add on any kind of leave-in conditioner. Also, hair food for your scalp and keeping your scalp healthy. I can't talk now. Now, this was the pretty much end result after I had washed and blow dried and conditioned, keeping in mind that I do have the back dark, the same color as my natural hair, but it did turn out the way that I wanted it to. Fire. Yeah. I mean, I absolutely love it. Now, if I could just keep it like that, That's a horse of a different color, I guess. But I just loved it. Putting that conditioner on there, washing it, and just moisturizing it. I absolutely love it. I love hair that is so versatile that you can do so many things with. Now, how I'm going to wear it, who knows? But at least I have that color pop. So please, please, please let me know what you think in the comment section, what you would have done differently. Girl, you better twist it. You better make it shout. You better make it jump. Yes, sir. Yep. That's what we did. But yeah, please let me know what you think. If you like the color, please let me know any products that I need to get and try out that could help me in my hair journey. My roots came out wonderful. And like I said, it's going to be a little different because of the different textures of hair. But if you like this video, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And I thank you so much for joining me today. You better shake that thing good. See you next time.